Students, this is my first video on father returning home. Here, I will explain the line meaning, and in the second video, you will come to know about the title, message, and special features. The poem Father Returning Home has been written by Dilip Chitre. It is an autobiographical poem where the poet depicts the picture of his father, Mr. Purushottam Chitre, returning home from work. His father is a suburban commuter, an old man. The poet wants to show how the man earns for the family but leads a monotonous life. No one is there to talk to him. His children do not share with him any secrets, and he remains all alone. Let me start with the first stanza. The first line is, My father travels on the late evening train. The poet talks about his father who travels by train in the late evening. The poet says late evening. It means the father works for long hours. The second line, standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. The father is standing under the yellow light, but the yellow light does not promote cheerfulness. There is no place to sit. This makes the journey monotonous. The yellow light also indicates that it is very depressing. Third line. Suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes. The suburbs slide past, but the father is not concerned about the sceneries. He has seen it many times, so this also adds to the sense of monotony. The fourth, fifth, sixth, and the seventh line. The fourth line is, his shirt and pants are soggy and his black raincoat stained with mud and his bag stuffed with books is falling apart. His eyes, dimmed by age, fade homeward through the humid monsoon night. It is a rainy day. The father's pants and shirt are soggy. The black raincoat is stained with mud. His bag is full of books, which indicates father is a scholar, but the heavy bag he is struggling to carry. His eyesight has become dim, which shows he has become old. He looks homeward in his low vision on humid monsoon night. The use of humid monsoon means gloomy weather, which indicates dullness in life. His life has no colors. The poet has used black color for the raincoat, which again shows that there is no color in father's life. I will move on to the eighth line. The eighth line is, now I can see him getting off the train like a word dropped from a long sentence. The poet's father gets down from the train. He gets down just like a word which is dropped from the sentence. It means the father has no importance. He is unimportant to the world. He is irrelevant to the world. The 10th, 11th, and the 12th line. He hurries across the length of the grey platform, crosses the railway line, enters the lane. His chappals are sticky with mud, but he hurries onward. The father alights from the train, or he gets off from the train, crosses the grey platform. The use of grey platform once again shows the dullness in father's life. It is an indication of dull life. He crosses the railway line and enters the lane. His chappals are sticky, but they do not stop him from hurrying. The poet has used the word hurries in the tenth line, as well as in the 12th line. Hurrying is used twice to bring a sense of escapism from the dull atmosphere. Now, let us see the second stanza. In the second stanza, let me start with the first and second line. Home again, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati, reading a book. The poet sees his father reaching home like other days. The father sips weak tea and stale chapati. He concentrates on reading his book. No one is there to care for him. The third and the fourth line. He goes into the toilet to contemplate man's estrangement from a man-made world. Contemplate means to think, to meditate, to ponder. Estrangement means no longer being friendly. The father goes into the toilet. The toilet is his world. The man is isolated from man-made world. This is basically the theme of the poem. In a man-made world, you are left alone. Even at home, he has no support. He goes to toilet to think. Over to the fifth and the sixth line. Coming out, he trembles at the sink, the cold water running over his brown hands. The father comes out of the toilet, goes to wash his hands at the wash basin, and he trembles when the cold water runs down his brown hands. Trembles because of old age or cold water, or maybe the thought of isolation from the rest of the world. Now we will move on to the seventh line. A few droplets cling to the graying hair on his wrists. A few drops cling to his grey hair. Water symbolizes life, and grey hair symbolizes old age. It also means grey old age, as well as it is symbolical to old age. So the old man's life is just holding on to his old age. Once again, I would repeat, the old man's life is just holding on to his old age. Eighth and the ninth line. His silent children have often refused to share jokes and secrets with him. He will now go to sleep. His bad tempered children, the meaning of the word sullen is bad tempered. His bad tempered children refuse to share their jokes, their secrets of life with him. They do not share a close or friendly association with their father. Though he is the earning member, children think he is a burden. 10th, 8th, and the 10th, 11th, and the 12th line. Listening to the static on the radio, dreaming of his ancestors and grandchildren, thinking of nomads entering a subcontinent through a narrow pass. The man now goes to sleep. He listens to the radio, but even the sound of radio is static, full of disturbance. The miserable sound is an indication of his miserable life. He starts dreaming about his ancestors and his grandchildren. That gives him happiness. He thinks about nomads, how these nomads lived, ate, slept together with their family, and even faced challenges when they moved from one place to another, but they were always together. It is once again an attempt to escape from this mundane routine, life devoid of human contact. So, the poet has shown how, in a man's made world, an old man remains all alone. Thank you, students.